Good morning, everyone. Welcome to day 8 of our 40 days of prayer. Today I want to take a look at the story of Ruth in the Old Testament. The story of Ruth really begins with Naomi and her husband, and they live in the time of the Judges, and there's a famine going on, so they immigrate to the nation of Moab. There, their 2 sons marry, and in time, Naomi's husband and her 2 sons all die. When Naomi finds out that the famine in Israel is over, she decides to go back home and encourages her daughters-in-laws to stay there and to find husbands and to marry and to rebuild their lives. Ruth, one of her daughters-in-laws, will not be dissuaded from going back with her, and she makes that wonderful statement, where you go, I will go, who your people are will be my people, your God will be my God, and she just stays with Naomi. So they go back to Israel, to the tribe, her place where she's from. And in time, in God's providence, she ends up marrying a man named Boaz, who is a kinsman redeemer of the family of Naomi. It's a wonderful story. It's an interesting story. Gives us some insight into the cultural issues and some of the legal issues related to marriage and a lot of things that are unique to them. But the real power of the story isn't found until the last few verses of the book. And I would encourage you to read the whole book. There's only 4 chapters in it. You can get it read pretty quickly. At the very end, when it says that Ruth married Boaz, they had a child, a son, and the last couple of verses basically say that son had a son, that son had a son, that son had a son. Eventually, that son being David, who would become king of Israel. And of course, we know that David is an ancestor of Jesus. And this story starts out in the theme of desperation and things not going well, but it ends in this wonderful reminder that God can work through all kinds of circumstances to bring about his plan. And so Ruth becomes an ancestor of Jesus. And if you read through the genealogies, Matthew chapter 1 in particular, that tell the genealogy of Jesus, you find there's 4 women listed in that genealogy. One of them is Ruth. Now here's the point I want us to think about. We're getting ready to launch a new church in Salina, Texas, the Crossway Church, which has been a dream and vision of the Shawnee Trail Church of Christ for 20 years. 20 years ago, when Shawnee was planted, I don't know, they had this as a dream, but could they really imagine the impact on lives that are happening today? And Crossway being planted, I want us to think about the future. Most of us know our ancestry. We know our history. Usually some family has a family historian that keeps the records and tells the stories, and all of that is great. One thing, of course, we don't know is who our future will be. But I would like to imagine in 20 years from now, after the Crossway Church has been fully planted and established, and many people have come to know Christ, many people have been strengthened, marriages have been redeemed and saved, and lives have been transformed. In that future, who will we have blessed? Obviously, we can't know that, but God can. God knew in Ruth and in Boaz that their ancestry would include his own son, Jesus, the Redeemer of the world. And so the things that God is doing in the world today will have a powerful impact, and we will be a part of that if we live our faith in Jesus to the full. What you choose to do today will impact somebody in the future in ways that you and I cannot yet imagine, but God does. So I hope that you will commit yourself to following God. Commit yourself today in prayer and to serve God whatever he puts in front of you. You may be in a spirit or theme of desperation today, but God can work great things in our lives if we'll be faithful and trust in him. So God bless you as you do that and live out your faith. And only God knows the amazing future of people who will follow after us.